staying on the topic of the Detroit Red Wings, this man was very sad today, but he had to be very happy a day ago. Dylan Larkin was signed to a contract. It is, what was it, $8.7 million for 8 years, $69.6 million total, as Rob Gronkowski would say, nice, period. But
Nice.
really, honestly, I mean, this is a good deal for Dylan Larkin. He is the lifeblood of that team. He's a Michigan boy, a Detroit Red Wings fan. And for the Detroit Red Wings fans on our team that we care about so dearly, you know, the Production Line podcast, I'm happy for them. I'm happy that Larkin stayed. I felt terrible watching that poor man cry when he lost his friend Bertuzzi today.
Yeah, I mean,
It's awful.
that's tough. But
I showed it to Emma, and she was like, what?
yeah, that's tough. I mean, you don't see that a lot, but I mean, look at his face. He looks like he's got a little baby face going on here. I can see it. I'm just kidding. No, I actually really like this deal for Detroit. I felt like Steve Yzerman and the Red Wings really had no choice. You had to sign
You had
Larkin.
to sign him.
Otherwise, this entire whole rebuild that you've got going on was basically for nothing, because you would rip away Bertuzzi and Larkin out of this lineup and be headed right down the opposite direction yet again. So I think Steve Yzerman went out and addressed what he needed to address as far as solidifying the future core of this team. And now we're looking at him to go out and do some bargain shopping for some younger players, I think, here.
Yeah, they got plenty of cap space.
Yep. No, I mean, I agree. I think, you know, it was weird because I do think Detroit, like, right? Detroit's sitting at 60 games played, 64 points. They're in the playoff hunt 100%. But I think they just looked at the arms race. They looked at the Lightning. They looked at Boston. They looked at Toronto. They looked at the Senators getting Chychrun. And they must have just said to themselves, even if we make the playoffs, we're not going on a long run this year. Let's cut bait with Bertuzzi, who's not going to re-sign. For their fans, it kind of blows, right? Because
They've had
excited.
some tough losses recently, too. One
Yeah,
of them
it's just been
being
a
to
tough slide.
Ottawa.
I know, and it's just like the last 2 weeks. I think very much this decision was made in the last 2 weeks, and it's kind of just led to this happening. But Detroit is very much so in the right direction. They're moving in the right direction. All those teams are. I mean, look at Buffalo. I think Buffalo's a playoff team now. It's crazy how strong the Atlantic Division is and how this arms race just has been. But, I mean, that gets me right into the next one. Like, you look at the Toronto Maple Leafs. They went out and they got McCabe and Lafferty. Look at this one. You guys want to? Someone else can read. Kevin, you read a trade for us.
I gotcha.
All right.
I gotcha. If you want, I'll just read all the trades when I pull them up on screen.
Yeah, it makes it easier.
Whatever. I was saying, these have the easy, nice American names.
Give Kevin the American names. He deserves
All right,
it.
Kev, you
All
can take
right.
it.
So going to Toronto, we got Jake McCabe, Sam Lafferty, and 2 fifth-round picks. 50% retained on McCabe. And going to Chicago, we have a 2025 first-round pick, 2026 second-round pick,
Here it comes.
Joey Anderson, and Pavel.
Here it comes.
All right, I didn't see
So
that
much for
one.
the American names.
That
partner.
one snuck in there. What was it?
Gogolev.
Googlev.
Gogolev.
Googlev.
Googly eyes.
Snuck- That one was hiding in there. I think
You
guys
can't
made
talk.
that
You
one
can't
up.
say nothing bad about Russians. We have one now in the Bruins.
True.
We already
the
had
Bruins
one, the
finally
Russians.
addressed that.
No, we
We already
didn't.
had one. We had Merkelov.
Yeah,
Oh.
he went to Ohio State. How Russian is he?
True.
Dude, he
Not too many
he like
Russ.
defected to Ohio State.
Did he actually?
I don't know.
I don't think
We
so.
did- well, I
I,
was like,
Kevin
wait,
just
what?
pulled that out of his ass.
Yeah,
That's
like where
fake
does this
news.
shit come from? But
The internet.
Anyways, addressing the actual
Yeah.
trade here. So this is the first of a couple Toronto trades that we're going to talk about, and I kind of put them in order as they actually happen in real time, since we're sort of summarizing what happened over the last week since our last episode. And honestly, this was the second of the big trades from Toronto, the first one being the Ryan O'Reilly and Achari deal. And then they come through with Jake McCabe and Sam Lafferty from the Chicago Blackhawks, with, you know, the main pieces being the first and the second round pick going back. Everybody looked at this trade and said, oh my God, wow, this is a great trade for Toronto. They got the 50% retention on McCabe. He is also signed next year as well, so they'll retain him through this offseason if they, you know, decide to keep him. I guess they could move him. So this is a great trade for Toronto for this year, for the playoff run, and for next year. But of course, as we will see here in a few short moments, they were not done.
Oh, they were not. But, I mean, you don't have them in order. So we're going to go with Enval to the New York Islanders.
Pierre
I
Engvall.
didn't really think, okay, I thought we were going anyone coming in, not just out. That's fair.
In and out, baby. We're going
Right
down
out.
the line.
Yeah,
in and
Clearing,
out.
as they cleared the cap space away.
Yeah, have to set it up. Toronto started to clear the cap space for some more shenanigans. So a couple quick hits here. Obviously, the one on screen if you're watching on YouTube. If you're not, I suggest that you do. There's going to be a lot of stuff in the next couple episodes as we bring some new things in, try some new things out, have some
They look
fun.
pretty.
Try to give you a little better viewing quality on the YouTube because obviously we're not the most beautiful of people, but that's
No,
another
but the
story.
graphics
For
are nice.
yourself there, buddy.
So for the trade on
Kev
this
does
one,
have a way with the women.
And it's not just pepper spray.
oh god. Anyways,
That's
Pierre
Mace,
Engvall finds a new home in the New York Islanders in exchange for a 2024 third-round pick. A little bit of business there between future and past Toronto GMs. I don't think that there's really anything that we need to address on that one, but
No.
another depth option trade here that Toronto got themselves involved in that I do want to talk a little bit about. They sent defenseman Rasmus Sandin to the Washington Capitals in exchange for Eric Gustafsson and a 2023 first-round pick, which just so happens to be the first-round pick from Boston that they received in the Orlov Hathaway trade.
I think
This one hurt me.
this trade was a huge win for Toronto. I think this is
Big
a
win.
great trade. They literally went and they traded a defenseman. They drafted 29th overall in the first round for a pick that's probably going to be pretty similar. That probably won't be a bust like he's been for them so far. And they got back a big, strong defenseman. Like, 2 claps for Toronto. Like, Kyle Dubas, he's crushed it to me for what his team needed. Like, he just got rid of a guy who just was not working with play. Like, you're never going to roll out Rasmus Sandin and be like, he's going to be our shutdown playoff defenseman. No shot. This is just, they're looking at a much better situation here. Like, I think Toronto has crushed it so far. And I hate the Leafs. But
100%. I mean,
Like-
clearing a roster spot and getting a first-round pick for somebody who you were basically going to be forced into moving, in my opinion,
yeah.
was a big win for me. And then obviously this trade is what set up the next big ball to drop in Toronto that I think was another, oh my God, Kyle Dubas is really all in.
Yeah.
And that is when
Luke
they
Schenn.
sent a 2024 third-round pick to Vancouver for Luke Schenn.
To me,
One
it's a
of
crazy
the
overpay.
biggest names in the deadline this year, Luke Schenn.
I don't think it's an overpay considering a lot of people are like, oh, they're going to get a first round pick for Luke Schenn. No, they
I
weren't.
still like it's just
It was
it's
always
tough.
a third. It was
It's
always a
tough for me
third.
to like see a guy who was on waivers like and nobody wanted now worth a third round pick. I mean, I guess he's changed his game a bit. Not really. He's just like played his game. Someone let him play his game.
Yeah, and I
But-
think it's also him having 2 cups in Tampa. That's
Just-
gonna. I think that's what
trust
Toronto
me,
wants.
I
It's-
mean this. He's going
And
to
the
become,
media
He's going to
drums
become
it
the
up.
whipping boy. He is poised to be the whipping boy of Toronto. He is the style that they want and that they hate when they get it. Just wait. They're going to be so mad that he's slow and he doesn't move the puck well. Just wait for him to become Toronto's whipping boy. Or maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe he's what pushes him over the edge. I think I would have liked him in Boston. Don't get me wrong. I like the player. I don't like him at a third round pick price. But I guess whatever. It's hard for me to say that when I'm saying give away your first. I guess I kind of sound like an idiot saying like don't give away your thirds, but give away your first.
Different
It's tough.
calibers of player.
It is. It is a way different caliber player. But
But I
just
mean,
don't-
hey, it can't be as bad as Don Sweeney trading a third-round pick for Zach Ronaldo. It just can't.
No, it can't. So he could play with Matt Bolesky. Oh man, remember when I said lifetime contract? Don't remind me of the dumb things Dom's done. Only the good ones.
Oh, and speaking of blockbuster trades, let's talk about Jacob Chikrin.
Dude, I'm
finally.
was so sick of
being
seeing this
traded.
dude's name. I'm so
2
sick of seeing
years.
his name on
2
Twitter.
years
I
in
didn't
the
even want
making.
him anymore. I was like, don't bring him to Boston. I don't want the guy.
Yes.
Super talented. The return.
So
yeah, you get
the shoe finally drops And Jacob Chychrun goes to the Ottawa Senators, who honestly just won the game of waiting out for all the big contenders here to find their dance partners and get their additions out of the way. They waited for the Chychrun price to drop, and they capitalized. The only things that they gave up was a 2023 first-round pick, which is top 5 protected. So this pick is going to land somewhere between number 6 and 16 on the overall draft board this year. They get a 2024 second-round pick and a 2026 second-round pick in return. And with that trade, Arizona set themselves up to have the most draft picks in the next 3 years that has ever been happened in the NHL.
Ever been happened.
Ever
Webster
been happened.
Dictionary. Ever been
I said that
had.
on purpose that way.
I'm sure you did. Arizona's doing what Arizona does. They don't want to spend money. They want to play in a college rink. They want to suck. Get rid of your good players. Get draft picks, and create a juniors program. I think that's what their goal. I think is to really elevate the play over at Arizona State. Maybe get some guys they can force to go to school there. Maybe just become a juniors program. They have a real nice barn for a juniors program. I don't know.
Getting a little wild here. I don't know. I mean, your boy Bill over there from your childhood team says that the area is great to live in, great to play in.
Listen, I've heard that
10
from
minutes from the arena to the airport.
I do believe it. I've heard it from enough people that I do believe it. I also think that if they get the Tempe arena deal done and they're willing to spend money and they get Connor Bedard, they'll be in great shape. If all 3 of those things don't happen, they're going to keep sucking. I mean that. They're going to need the rink, willing to spend money, and Bedard. If they don't get all 3, they get nothing.
And when they get Austin
Man, I almost pulled a Kevin, and I almost started to go into a full-blown sentence there before I realized. But Kevin, do you have anything that you want to throw in on the Chychrun thing?
Austin Matthews?
Get that man out of our mouths for once.
I know,
because
I'm talking about him.
Jake was talking about the Coyotes and, their perpetual sucking. So I want to talk about something else that's really obvious, and that was Patrick Kane becoming a New York Ranger.
Yeah, this reminded me so much of the Taylor Hall to Boston trade. Patrick Kane more or less just said, New York. I'm going to New York. And whenever they came to him with any other trades, he said, Rangers.
Not the Islanders, the Rangers.
He was like, Rangers. And he just sat there and said the word Rangers enough times that they learned they had to trade him with the Rangers, and they didn't get shit for him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they get a second-round pick that can become a first if they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, which is possible. That I actually could see happening with the Rangers. They are that good. So that's interesting.
So we'll break down the whole trade here.
Yeah, break it down.
We'll go to what goes to the Blackhawks first because they've got the biggest haul out of the ordeal here. They get a 2023 second-round pick, a 2023 fourth, Ville somebody. That's a whole mess of a
Not
name.
Husso.
Sarjarvi, Andy Walensky, some prospects there. So really, a second and a fourth-round pick and a couple prospects who are just going to fill the system and be some bodies in the unit. The New York Rangers obviously receive Patrick Kane, the star of the show here. Chicago retained 50% and Arizona retained 25%.
And
The New York Rangers also...
Arizona won the social media part of this.
Correct, but hold on. We will get there. The Rangers also got Cooper Zek in part of this deal, and then the whole winners of this deal, in my opinion, out of everybody, is the Arizona Coyotes, who got a 2025 third-round pick for taking 25% of Patrick Kane's salary, which in real dollars was next to nothing in real money. So Arizona, in my opinion, really gets out of this like a bandit. There's, Minnesota, who got a fourth and a fifth round pick for retaining on previous deals, so this kind of upped the ante. The Rangers obviously were in a bit of a pickle and were forced to, but what are your guys' thoughts about Showtime making his way to Broadway?
I think Rangers are poised for a very long run. I think the Rangers are about as good as they've been in the last 10 years. And they scare me a bit. I don't know about you guys. I think that they can take down anyone in the East 100%. From top to bottom, they are a great roster. They're a playoff roster. They can hit you, they can fight you, they can outscore you, and they have really good goaltending. I think
And they
built
can
a lot
spin
like
on
the
you
Bruins.
too.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't. I have
I don't
trouble
really
with
want to
that.
get into that just
No,
because.
I don't. I have no interest in
Yeah.
getting into it. I don't think he did it on purpose. I'm gonna just
I'm
say
very
that. Like,
anti hot button topic.
yeah, yeah. No, Connor can't give his opinion on hot button topics. People cry, and I mean that. I know you guys aren't listening, but you're super soft. Tweet at me, Timo Meyer to the New Jersey Devils.
Timo, Timo, Timo time.
I love this trade, but it's also
Yes.
like the most insane trade in the world.
It's read it.
So, all right. So, San Jose received 2023 first round pick, 2024 second round pick, 2024 seventh round pick, Andreas Johnson.
Andreas Johansson
Yeah, that guy. Fabian Zetterlund, Nikita somebody, and
of Kokotok.
Shakir
Shakir
Mukamadulin.
Mukamadulin.
Oh, Shakir. Yes. Shakir.
Just for New Jersey to receive Timo Meyer, Scott Harrington, who they
Who
waived,
they waived.
and is now in Anaheim. Santeri Ataka.
Taka.
Dude, someone
All
give this
right.
guy a break.
I'm
Someone
not
give
reading
this
these
guy a
last two.
break.
Yeah, you don't know the other two. I promise you, if you're listening to this and you
Yeah,
know these two people, please tweet at the show and let us know, and we will have you on the next show, and you can pronounce that live.
Nobody knows who the hell those guys
The
are.
only other thing that the New Jersey Devils get that you're going to understand what the hell it is a 2024 fifth-round pick. You're welcome. Have a nice day. It's
Timo
Timo
Meyer's a
time.
beast. Timo Meyer's a beast. There's another team. I look at Jersey and I think the same thing.
I love
New,
Jersey right now.
New Jersey just got a lot better, but I don't think that they can
Their
beat
goaltending
Carolina.
sucks.
They can't beat Carolina and they can't beat New York. So it's going to be tough.
But this
for them to
top
get
six for years
Yeah,
is
no.
going to be nice.
Well, they have to re-sign Timo Meyer. He's a
I think
restricted
they
free
will.
agent. They can
I really don't
qualify him
think-
for 10 mil. But
I don't think Fitzgerald is really going to go out there and do this trade without knowing that he's going to stay there long term.
Maybe.
I mean, Timo Meyer said he's not signing it, right? Did I not? Am I wrong?
No
on that?
deal was in place, yeah.
no deal in place. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
But they were talking prior to the trade. The Devils were the only team that had permission to talk to his agent.
Good.
Fair.
I don't. I have a little bit place in my heart for the Devils. I don't know. I look at them. They've always been, a team that I always have had a little bit of a like for. So
Do you know a team that I don't have any like for in my heart, Jacob?
Tampa Bay Lightning,
The Tampa Bay Lightning. Do you know what the Tampa Bay Lightning did, Jacob?
one of the worst trade of the
The
deadline.
biggest overpay I've seen.
They gave up first round pick Cal Foot. They gave up 2025 first round pick, 2024 second, 2023 third, 2023 fourth, 2023 fifth for Tanner Jeannot in his 5 goals.
5 goals. I think he's been in the league, 3 years now total?
Yep.
Maybe 2?
No. 3 years.
Somewhere between 2
I'll
and
do a
3
Google
years.
while you
So I'm gonna kind of backtrack this to last year. The Tampa Bay Lightning went out and they gave up 2 first-round picks, Taylor Radish and Boris Kachuk, to the Chicago Blackhawks in exchange for the Brandon Hagel.
3 years.
He's been here for 3 years. Okay.
No, wrongo. Yeah, his first year he played 15 games, 2 full seasons.
Okay.
Well, 1.5.
So fair. Whatever. It's in 2 to 3. But this trade reminds me very much so of the Brandon Hagel deal where the Tampa Bay Lightning know that all of these picks that they're giving away, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th this year are probably the closest ones to becoming NHL players within the next 2 to 3 years, which the Tampa Bay Lightning think that they're going to be contending in. And to be honest with you, those 3rd, 4th, and 5th round picks have such a slim chance of actually becoming an NHL player that it really doesn't matter. And like I mentioned earlier in the show, we talked about before we started recording, having an NHL player instead of all these lottery tickets for the draft is 10 times better, especially when you have a guy like Tanner Jeannot, who is a massive human on skates and knows how to play the kind of hockey that can get you through the playoffs.
You don't think this is an overpay?
Do I think it's an overpay?
He's
Yes.
30 career goals.
But for Tampa Bay, it's not. Because Tampa
Okay.
Bay already has, the star-studded talent at the top of their
He could
roster,
be a
in their
stud for them,
decor.
too.
Yeah, they went out and they gave up all the assets that they needed to address the one thing that they need. And if I'm not mistaken, he's going to be an RFA or will be an RFA when his contract expires.
Yeah, his contract expires this year. He's going to be an RFA.
Exactly. So they can easily re-sign him.
His cap hits 800,000. So yeah, no, I mean, he's young. He's 25. Not that young, but he's 25. He had 24 goals and 17 assists last year. He's young. He's young. Don't get me wrong.
And you have to take into account here that he's playing on a pretty abysmal bottom six for the Nashville Predators, and he's going to play for the Tampa Bay Lightning, who, by all accounts, are a pretty fucking good hockey team, and he's probably going to put up a lot more points in Tampa than he did in Nashville, to be fair.
That's 100% fact, and that kind of wraps it up for the East, doesn't it, boys?
That it does, laddie. That it does.
Oh, wait a second. We have a message from somebody. I hear it coming in.
Dun-dun-dun.
It's from, oh my God, the DraftKings Sportsbook. Boston's hometown sportsbook will be live soon, right here in Massachusetts. Bet local on all your favorite sports from the comfort of your home with DraftKings. To celebrate, all new customers will receive up to $200 in bonus bets when you sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook using code Inside the Rink. Soon you'll be able to bet on local money lines, spreads, props, and more with one of America's top-rated sportsbooks, DraftKings Sportsbook. Also, you can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and sign up with code Inside the Rink to get up to $200 in bonus bets as well, and you can use those once mobile sports betting hits Massachusetts. That's code Inside the Rink only at DraftKings Sportsbook. If you or a loved one is experiencing problems with gambling, call 800-327-5050 or visit helplinema.org. Again, that's helplinema.org to speak with a trained specialist free and confidentially 24/7. 21 plus, physically present in Massachusetts. Eligible restrictions apply. And let's hit you with a little bit of that